All right. Testing everybody. Can you hear us? We're live. Back on a new show. We are live. They can hear us. They can hear us, TD. I just heard
Can they?
myself. Yes.
Okay,
Welcome
cool.
back to Wake Up a Ball. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know what that was. That's never happened before ever in my life as a YouTube person on this service that we use where we can hear each other, but they can't hear us. But I digress. Welcome back to Wake Up a Ball. We took a little break of this show because Friday I flew to Miami. TD came down to Miami, and then yesterday I flew back to New York, so there was a little break of Wake Up and Ball because of the awesome Miami Roundtable sports event that we had over the weekend, and we're excited to get into business. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's show. We have a full slate. Juan Soto, woo! NFL Week 14 recap, some NBA talk. You know the vibes. Welcome to Wake Up and Ball. TD, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Richie. Listen, man, I'm just glad to be back so that we could wake up and ball. There's a lot we got to discuss that we missed because we couldn't have the show yesterday. A lot has gone down. We're going to get into that Juan Soto. It really doesn't make a difference. And we got so much more to talk about. You know, the NBA Cup starts tonight. That's pretty dope. Also, these games that happened over the weekend, man, a lot to discuss, man. Y'all punch the like button. Thank y'all for waking up and balling. Let's go! Woo.
Let's get into business. All right,
Richie,
all right.
It sounds like we're both recovering, like our voices almost.
Oh, yeah, my voice is shot.
Like we're recovering. I still can hear mine like trying to recover, man.
My voice is completely shot, and it is very frustrating. But it's okay. It's okay. I gotta see if I can. People say they want me to put on my Mets hat. I think they're right because the NBA Cup starts, so I was wearing my Knicks. But Juan Soto's a Met. Hold on one second.
Oh my gosh, man, this is New York sports for you, y'all. They really believe they live a world where they believe it matters. It's New York. They're like destined to fail. All right. And Richie, he just doesn't get that. But I'm gonna keep helping him out, y'all. We're gonna keep showing him on this channel. But the acquisition of Juan Soto is actually huge, though.
All right. It's time. We're not talking about no NFL to start off. We've been talking about this for a long time. Since we started the show, this was the first topic I wanted to get TD Finstock in the building about. Juan Soto signs with the Mets like I said he would all along. And it is the largest deal in sports history. And I'm telling you, TD, I was weirdly never this confident in my team landing a free agent. And there was one reason only. Uncle Steve. Steve Cohen. Okay? You know how much I roast and do not like the owners of the New York Jets? Well, the New York Mets is a different situation here with the owners. It is just a breath of fresh air having these owners because not only do they got the money, but they have a wife that cares who is very involved, and they hosted Juan Soto in their California home to sell him on the future of the New York Mets. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of debate between this thing that this is all about the money, right? But the New York Yankees offer was 16 years, $760 million. Basically a $5 million difference, and there were some different escalators that was a difference. I really think he wanted to be a Met rather than a Yankee personally. He was sold on the future of the organization, and it was not all about the dollar. But we'll get deeper into it. What's your thoughts of this contract that the New York Mets gave Juan Soto? The largest deal ever.
Well, it was massive. I thought that it was going to be somewhere around the 720 mark, which some people said, no, it's going to be in the sixes. I knew it was going to be up in the 700s just based off of all the reports. And the fact that if the Mets wanted him, they were going to have to spend a large amount of money. They got their guy, man. They got their guy to help them, win the ultimate goal. But, at the end of the day, it's still New York sports, Richie. I mean, it's not much going to matter. It is going to put you all in contention, but it's not really going to matter. Juan Soto is a valuable piece to the team. He's definitely going to uplift and help the team do bigger and better things. And you all went far before. But, at the end of the day, we'll see how the team responds. We'll see if it's a cohesive group that can get the job done when it matters most. But listen, I can't, I want to hate because I don't like New York sports, but I can't hate. You just landed a big fish. But let's see if it's edible. Let's see if it makes sense for the Mets long term. We'll see.
And you know what? And you know what this means? And you say you hate New York sports, right? Either way, he was going to land in New York.
I just hate y'all delusion.
No, this is a big deal for New York baseball in terms of like Yankees versus Mets, because I know you're not familiar with this, so I'll fill you in a little bit. My whole life growing up, the Yankees were the team that had all the money, was able to afford buying all the players, and just like kind of just be the juggernaut of baseball. And as a Mets fan growing up, we had owners that were cheap, couldn't afford anybody. We were scrapping for the people, not a good organization, incompetent, laughing stock, just like, the Mets stink. Like, that was the Mets. And growing up, it was just like, Yankees fans will bully me. Like, oh, you're a Mets fan, what a loser, right? And, like, this was the moment for me as a Mets fan where the entire dynamic of New York baseball has shifted. Baseball means a lot to the city. And I think that Mets versus Yankees is the biggest rivalry within the city, like comparative to Jets versus Giants or Knicks versus Nets. And let me know in the chat if there's any, New Yorkers, if you agree with that if there was one sport that there was a more bigger rivalry, it's the Mets-Yankees. And not because we verse each other or anything. It's just like you turn on sports radio, it's always Mets-Yankees. Like, it's just like baseball means a lot. This was the moment where everything shifted and all of a sudden people realized, wow, the New York Mets have completely changed the dynamic of the city of baseball because we stole him from the Yankees. It's not like he was a Dodger or a Padre and we were both bidding for him. No, the Yankees traded for him. The Yankees did everything in their power to try to bring him back, and we stole him from the Yankees. You have any idea how big that is for the Mets? That right there is a massive thing that needs to talk about.
Listen, Richie. Once again, y'all having interstate feuds, interstate rivals, but does it ever really truly amount to anything? Like when you think about like the last 10 years, all those sports teams in New York, what type of success have they had?
I mean, the Yankees were in the World Series last year. Mets were in the World Series 2015, lost. The Rangers were in the Stanley Cup, won it recently, or they didn't. I forgot. But
the women's
WNBA. I mean, there was a Mets-Yankees World Series Subway Series back in 2000. I was 2 years old.
25 years ago, almost.
Yankees won that one. But listen, I feel like this was just a really big shift. And also, just from like a standpoint of the money, like you're going to find the contract interesting. It's very interesting because we always talk about NFL contracts. The structure of this deal is interesting, man. So there's
details.
Yeah, there's an opt-out in 2029 that Soto can opt out and opt into an escalated deal that elevates it to because right now it's 51 million AAV, and then it can go up to 55 million after 2029. And it's going to be an interesting decision there because it's kind of confusing where Soto can opt out and opt into that contract, and it's like, or he can stay with this contract, and then the full value could be over $800 million, basically, if he decides to opt out and escalate it to that number, which was a big kicker. And it's also, there's no deferred money, which is a big deal because the Shohei Ohtani deal that the Dodgers signed, $700 million, a lot of that money's deferred, where they're paying majority of the money when the contract is pretty much done. So the structure of this deal is very, very interesting. And the Mets right now are still under the luxury tax, which means they haven't even hit the threshold of getting taxed, even with this contract on the books for coming into this season.
So let me ask you this: in that opt-out, could he leave?
Technically, yes.
Ooh,
but
boy.
From a money standpoint, I don't think anybody's going to be giving him 51 million per year for the next 10 years.
Depends on the value. Depends on the value and how well he's playing at the time, Richie. You got 5 years, and he can go get a whole new lucrative deal.
Yeah, but listen, I hope you realize, and this proved my point, that there's no owner in baseball that can afford this.
Yeah, but 5 years from now, the values of these teams in the owners' pockets will all grow for the most part.
And the Yankees owner even admitted, like, we were way out of our comfort zone already giving him a deal, an offer of 760. Like that's Steinbrenner doesn't like that's not the Yankee way anymore, and they were completely uncomfortable offering what they were offering in the first point. And now I love how Yankees fans right now, they're like, oh, he was overrated anyway. You know, like, oh, that contract sucks, and they're posting low lights. And I don't know if you've seen any of the viral Yankees fans losing their mind, but oh my God, it is a glorious, glorious thing about it. I do want to show you some of it. Excuse me. I don't know if I can find it. There's some viral guy that just absolutely, look, this is a good one right here. Yankees fans are losing their minds right now. This is one right here. This guy's outside Citi Field, outside the Met Stadium.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, I got it.
Yo, Juan Soto, listen up, man. This is your new fucking home. This is your new home right here. Shut the fuck up and don't fucking complain. Look at this shithole. Look at this fucking shithole.
A lot of cursing
right
here.
Across the street. Look at this fucking dump. Road fucking closed. You chose this piece of shit.
So you get an idea of what New Yorkers, Yankees fans are feeling right now. I mean, the good thing is it is a junkyard around Citi Field, but they are building it up. They are building it up around it. But there was one that was really funny. It was someone that is pretty famous as a Yankees fan, and I can't know if I can find it. But boy, oh boy, this was a big deal. This was a big deal among the baseball world. And chat, you guys let us know your thoughts of it, because I feel like I don't know if there's a lot of baseball fans in the chat or not. And I'm sure there's Yankees fans. I know my boy JT's a Yankees fan. He's pissed off. But boy,
don't the Yankees still got Judge?
Yeah, but now it's Judge and who else? Stanton? You know what I mean? Like, and that's their captain. They have a right to be excited about Judge. They should be. But, I mean, now the Mets have Lindor and Soto as the face of the New York Mets for the next decade.
Which combination was better?
Well, Soto and Judge, they went to the World Series. They were both MVP finalists for the Yankees. Lindor is an MVP finalist as well. So, I don't know.
If you got to pick two, which two would you pick?
I mean, listen, Aaron Judge objectively is better than Lindor. I can definitely say that.
And Soto.
Yeah. So Lindor and Soto, though, they're really good friends. They're best friends even before this. And I don't know. I also feel like the energy of the Mets club is going to be great. And you know who's a big Mets fan, who's an NBA star?
Who?
Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's on FaceTime with Juan Soto. But super excited about it, which is what you love to see. You also have, this is him celebrating.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, it's just really fun to see people win, and the Mets come out on top with this, man. I was so confident. I kind of wish I put money on it, TD. I didn't.
Yeah, man. Congratulations to all Mets fans. You got what you wanted. Now let's see if it's gonna work out.
It will. We got a long way to go before we find that out. All right, let's move right along. Now, let's get into some super chats. We got Flick Short saying for the clips tomorrow, TD, you can sit back and relax.
Appreciate you, bro.
I already know what it is. It's going to be me the whole time saying the Jets are going to win, and then it's going to be the Jets losing. It's like Leak, he wants that max. He's pretty good.
It's like Ricky wants that max.
I remember Stanton, Yelich, D.G. Jose in Miami. Yeah, man, the Miami Marlins used to have a loaded team with Giancarlo Stanton, Christian Yelich, D. Gordon, and now the Miami Marlins are absolutely frauds and nothing. But now, let's get into some football. We talked about this game a lot. I mean, listen, man, first time talking about it here on Wake Up and Ball. But, guys, don't forget to hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Wake Up and Ball is live every single Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. EST. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the Roundtable Sports channel. We're really trying to build something special here. TD, anything you want to add that we haven't really mentioned about this game?
Not really. But Jets, Dolphins, like I said last week, we knew what was going to happen. This doesn't, move the needle for either team. We knew the Dolphins were the better team than the Jets, and they should have won. And I got to give it to the Jets. I feel like they came out and they fought, and they made it a closer game than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, I thought he looked really good. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to play his behind off for the rest of the season and show that the Jets should move forward with one more year of that unit together before they scrap it all and see if they could do something special. So, yeah, man, Tua, clutch moment at the end of the game to Jonnu Smith. That was pretty dope to see him have that moment. It's rare, so every time we get those moments, we should appreciate it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, Richie. Not much more to talk about in that. Ain't much more to talk about, Richie. Y'all.
Hey, Richie, not frauds that need me out there. Yeah, hire sign Flick Shorts, Marlins. Get him on the mound. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Oh man, Jets getting us ready for this playoff run. I love it. Delusion. Look at this. All that game did yesterday is feed into the delusion that the Dolphins season is alive. Let's be honest, it's still dead in the water, man. I feel like what the Dolphins proved is that they can step up in the clutch, and they took advantage of a team that's been not good in the clutch all season long, which is the New York Jets. And it just really comes to show you what this team is all about. And I don't know. Now Jets fans are thinking to themselves, watching Aaron Rodgers, should we keep him next season? Like, that's going to be a discussion for the last 4 weeks. And everyone's like, oh, but Richie, we lost. It's good for the draft pick. We literally went down by winning. So, by losing, sorry. We went from 6 to 7. So, I don't really care about no draft talk. But at the end of the day, congratulations to the Miami Dolphins. We'll beat you guys when you come to Miami. When you come to New York. Sorry. My head's all over the place.
Yeah, Richie don't even believe that, yo.
Yeah, I do. All right, let's get into some other games. Seattle versus Arizona. This was a big game between the NFC West division foes. Seattle comes out on top, right? We have Kenneth Walker was out in this game. Their starting running back, Zach Charbonnet, who is their backup, comes in and puts the team on his back. Big time, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, and now the Seahawks are in the driver's seat to win that division. The Rams, though, that win against the Bills puts them right behind the Seahawks. So now all of a sudden it was between the Seahawks and the Cardinals for the division, and now it's between the Seahawks and the Rams. Do you have the Seahawks winning this division, or do you have the Rams getting hot and coming out on top in the end?
Richie, it's still anybody's game. I'm still not going to rule out San Francisco. People think I'm crazy for me saying that, but you got to go look at everybody's schedule. Go look at everybody's schedule, man. It gets brutal for Seattle. It gets brutal for the Rams, even Arizona. It's like the 49ers might have the easiest path, even though they have the Lions on their schedule and the Dolphins. But it's anybody's game, to be quite honest with you. I like Seattle to win it, but I don't know. It's just something weird about the 49ers that I think on the back end that they could go on a little run. And I was highly impressed with, their performance versus the Bears. I think it was like 31-10 or something like that. I thought that they brought back what they needed to. Now you got Debo barking, saying, I need more targets. So, he's looking to get going. I just really like San Francisco. I don't know why. I don't. It's still open for anybody.
The San Francisco 49ers definitely put a little whooping down on the Chicago Bears. Brock Purdy went out there, 20 of 35, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, a rating of 145. That game was just wild from the standpoint of the yards differential in the first half. It was just like, what was it, like 250 to like 4 yards? I don't know what that was about.
That defense woke up.
Yeah, I think that the the San Francisco 49ers, they have a chance, but I don't know, man. I'm going to look at the playoff probability because I don't think that the Niners, they have to win out, in my opinion, because now the Seahawks are in the driver's seat.
They may have to win out, and here's why I say that, Richie. This is why I say that, Richie.
There's an 8% chance The Niners.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Seattle got to play Green Bay this week. Okay? That's tough. And they're not going to be the favorite. Then they have to play the Vikings. Tough. Not the favorite. They have to go on the road to Chicago, which they should win that game. That's one win that I think they'll get. And then they got to play the Rams the last game of the season. So the reason why I'm bringing that up, I don't know, Richie. They might be 1-3. Best case scenario, I think they'll end up 2-2. So they get to 9 or 10 wins. That schedule isn't favorable for them. I believe they're gonna end up 9 or 10 wins. Now, if they shock us with Green Bay or the Minnesota, then they won it. But they might end up with 9 or 10, Richie.
We shall see. I don't know. Richie, stop trying to pull this on us in the dark with you. You are in the dark with us. No. Everybody that misses the playoffs is in the dark. You guys will miss the playoffs. It's that simple. Now, another game I wanted to get into. We didn't get to talk about this game on Wake Up and Ball. And this was probably the game of the week. I know it was on Thursday night. We kind of forget about it, but this was a freaking game. Okay? Yeah. Now, I do want to give a shout out to this man right here on X who just tweeted this out. Richie, listen to your prediction on the Lions and the Panthers. You know ball. TD, not so much.
Oh, my gosh. Stop it. I picked Green Bay to win this game, Richie, and rightfully so.
No, not rightfully so.
Listen, they lost the game, but come on. They came to play, and honestly, they should have won. They should have won.
Could have.
But they didn't. You're right.
The Jets should have won against the Dolphins.
And that was barely, Richie. Detroit took everything. It was the last minute, man. Listen, I still feel good about Green Bay.
I still feel good about Green Bay, but you and Dan were like, "Oh, the injuries in the Lions on the defense." That doesn't matter. That was not a narrative. You guys try to push that narrative as a big deal. I personally didn't believe that was a big deal because of Aaron Glenn, because of the culture. We had guys who they signed off the practice squad a week prior make winning plays. That is what coaching does, which is why I didn't really think that was a big issue. And, I mean, how about Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down? How many times? 4 or 5?
Yeah, that's what it took.
And that's what makes the Lions so dangerous. They're not afraid to take the risks. And not a lot of teams out there would be able to do that. And Jared Goff put up a really good game against a really good team in the Packers. Jordan Love also is a freaking stud, man. He really is. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think this game came down to the coach. Dan Campbell took the chances that Green Bay wouldn't. I remember Green Bay being right over midfield like twice in the game, deciding to punt the ball. Dan Campbell, same situation. Let's go for it. And I think that's what it comes down to, man. And sometimes that's it. That's all it comes down to. I feel like Green Bay should have been a little bit more aggressive because you're playing aggressive. You're playing an aggressive team. You got to match Detroit. I believe Green Bay would have went for one of those fourth downs and got it. It could have changed the whole trajectory of the game. But they were playing to win instead of playing to literally just dominate and have full confidence in the team. And that can be dangerous. Sometimes you hold yourself back just like, well, we don't want to make that mistake and lose. No, man, Dan Campbell don't care. If they didn't get it and we lost, Dan Campbell, hey, we'll live with it. Let's roll. You know, you got to stop having this fear of, I don't want to lose the team the game. Put it on those players. And Green Bay coach wouldn't. Dan Campbell did.
And that's what makes the Lions so dangerous. But the one thing I'm worried about is one of those going for it will bite them in the playoffs. You know, too aggressive and they don't get it and they lose. Because if they did not get that fourth down, Packers could have easily won the game by a field goal. Mm-hmm. So,
but you live by it, you die by it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And right now you're living. You're living. So don't change it up. Why would you change your identity even in the playoffs? I just think that it's a winning formula, to be quite honest with you. You have confidence in your team to pick up those short yard fourth downs.
Yeah, man. It's the Lions are a special team, and I cannot wait to see them come playoff time. I think that they're going to have a big reason why. I mean, listen, I know that the Vikings, which I want to talk about in a sec, they're still knocking at the door. But boy, oh boy. I do want to talk about this real quick. Jesse says, Richie claiming the Mets with 3 weeks left in the season says all you need to know. What does this mean? What the heck is Jesse trying to say?
Yeah, you weren't a Mets fan, man. 3 weeks left. You're like, all right, I'll become a Mets fan. They doing well.
What? Fun fact, I was a Mets fan before a Jets fan. The Mets are my first love as a kid. So that's false, Jesse. We've been talking about this Juan Soto free agency right from the start of Wake Up and Ball. So, of course, we're going to be talking about him coming to the Mets, Jesse. Yeah, maybe the Jets being suck, so I'm using the Mets right now to make me have some joy. Okay, I'm using the Mets as a tool and as a modality to make me feel better about myself because the Jets don't make me feel any good. But, yeah, if that's what you mean, we shall see, man. But I do want to talk about my boy, Sam Darnold.
Man, oh, man.
What did I say? And I'm pretty sure this is wrong. The graphics got it wrong. He was not 22 of 38. He was 22 of 28. 347 yards, 5 touchdowns, 157.9 rating, man. All offseason, I told you guys, Sam Darnold with the Vikings is a perfect fit. Kevin O'Connell's going to have him playing the best ball of his life. TD laughed at me. Dan laughed at me. Oh, here go Richie. His delusion with Sam Darnold. And I'm like, listen, I may have a soft spot for Sam, but it was more about the situation he's going into that I think he's going to finally be able to get unlocked. And he started off the season hot, went through a little adversity in the middle of the way. Oh, Sam's a little overrated. Maybe he's not as good as we thought he was. And now look at what he's doing. I mean, this was like an MVP type of game. I mean, he's not going to win MVP, but wow. You talk about making the throws. I mean, you go look at the tape on that game. He was making people miss, throwing on the run, putting the ball exactly where it needs to be, finding the open man in the red zone. I mean, unbelievable game from Sam Darnold. And as a Jets fan, it's just like, it's like, why do we trade him? Obviously, if we did not trade him, we probably would not be doing this with the Jets, but that's another discussion. What was your thoughts of the Vikings going out there and beating up on the Falcons the way that they did?
Very impressive, especially given the fact that the Falcons back against the wall. They needed this win, and now the Bucs are pretty much in the driver's seat of that division, having number one. Atlanta has lost that spot, so Atlanta came out to win and really play hard, and they showed it in the first half. They were really, executing. They made some plays. Kirk Cousins came in and said, yeah, let's do it. I'm here. I'm back in my home, and I'm going to show y'all why I'm that dude. But ultimately, they got to 21 and never scored again. They never scored again. It was 21-21, and the offense for Minnesota doubled it, and the Vikings in that defense with Brian Flores never allowed them to score again. Now, they gave up some yards, the Vikings defense, but this is what they are. Bend but don't break, baiting you into situations and then attacking. And in those attack moments, they are able to create turnovers, interceptions, pressure, all of that. This Viking defense is continuing to play great football. Some people feel like they had a bad game, giving up 21 points. No, it's called bend but don't break. And then you got a guy like Kirk Cousins who's going to be a gunslinger. That's just how, the cookie crumbles. But overall, when you get the offense cooking like they were and the defense, I don't know if there's a team that can beat the Vikings in the NFL, even the Lions. Let me say that again. If you get because this is what people don't understand. The offense has kind of been wavery all season, even though they've been good, but they've taken advantage of defensive turnovers and things like that. But when you get the offense hitting on the cylinders like it was yesterday, and the defense gets to rolling, Vikings top 3 automatic. And honestly, if we have the conversation, they're top 3 automatic now anyway. To be quite honest with you, and I still think the Minnesota Vikings will win that division. And I think one of the big games is going to come down to this weekend, Bills-Lions. If the Bills beat them, it's Vikings division.
Damn. I mean, you look at the Vikings schedule. You got the Vikings taking on the Bears, Monday Night Football. They should win that game. Vikings, Seahawks. That's not going to be
for the Vikings.
Okay, but don't say that with all that confidence, like it's an easy
W.
Hey, don't disrespect Gino. That's going to be a fun
leagues.
game. Geno Smith versus Sam Darnold, baby. Woo! Man, who am I pulling for in that one? I mean, listen, the Vikings should win, of course. It's in Seattle. And things happen, man. You can't go out there and be like, oh, yeah, it's guaranteed. So that's not going to be an easy game. December 22nd, that's going to be an interesting one. And then Vikings-Packers, and then Vikings-Lions to end it. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Vikings schedule is not a walk in the park. The only easy game they have is the Bears this week.
They already beat the Packers, Richie. They'll do it again.
I mean, the Packers, you just were talking about how good they looked against Detroit.
Yeah, they do. But I'm telling you, this Minnesota team, when that Vikings offense gets moving like this, nobody can touch them because the defense is ironclad. I mean, I just believe they're the most well-rounded team. The Lions, with their injuries, they're not going to survive the Vikings.
I don't know, man.
Well, hey, guess what? It's only 4 weeks left. We're going to find out.
Listen, I would be the happiest man. Not the happiest man, but I'd be pumped if Sam did it. And it's just like, there's a bunch of people now, like, I've been pushing to bring Sam back to the Jets narrative all season, and all Jets fans are like, oh, shut up, Richie, like, you're so wrong. And now they're seeing it like, you know what, maybe we should do it. Not happening, realistically. I don't think Sam would want to come back here, but, I mean, I'm down for it.
You never know.
You think so? You think Sam would want to come back if the opportunity presents itself? You know who I'd want to be the coach with him? Offensive coach, that is.
What was that?
Josh McCown. Josh McCown was on the Jets. He was on the Jets with Sam Darnold, right? That was the quarterback room. They were great friends. And now Josh McCown is the quarterback coach with Minnesota, with Kevin O'Connell. Maybe Josh McCown could be the offensive coordinator with Sam with the Jets. Now, this is me completely being delusional. Probably not happening. I don't know who the head coach would be within that scenario. But, oh, my God, would it be a full circle moment if Sam signs a big deal with the Jets and he comes here and he plays like this and he is our guy. I will want nothing more, man. Sam is my guy. He always will be, bro.
Well, you know what? He's a true comeback story, like in its truest form. Ever since he was seeing ghosts, I don't know a human who believed in him. But man, just to see the revival of his career this year. See, and let me tell you this too, Richie. This isn't a revival like Geno, like Baker. This is like for some reason I see this different.
Well, Baker and Sam, like Geno's different because he was drafted in 2013, but Sam and Baker were drafted in the same class. So how is it different than Baker?
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is the type of comeback. See, Baker and them with all their running and all of that stuff, making things happen, improvising. But I think Sam is more now in a structured system that even if a weapon gets hurt or whatever, he can still perform. Because don't forget, some of these guys were in and out of the lineup throughout the season, and he was still able to perform. I've seen Purdy have guys go in and out of the lineup and struggle. So I like what Sam's doing regardless, making plays, making throws, big boy throws, like threading needles, confidence on 1,000. It's just like a totally different guy. Like you would have never known this man saw ghosts. You would have never known.
I knew we always had it, man. Habitual line stepper Hayton. Sam coming back to New York would be a mistake. Plus Jets don't have J.J. Nattison. We got Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. Now, I'm not saying that's better than those two, but, I mean, let's be honest. Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams it's a pretty good 1-2 punch, who both put up, like, combined 260 yards last week. So let's not pretend the Jets don't have two good receivers. Not saying they're better than J.J. Nattison, because I think J.J. Nattison is the better duo, but let's be honest with ourselves. The Jets have the two receivers that could get over the hump, but it's a pipe dream for me. It's more of my just, fandom of Sam and belief in him. And he was the guy I was blindly believing in him that really, really was going to be our franchise QB. So I'll always be rooting for him no matter what.
Richie, I got a question for you with the Lions. So they play the Bills at home, the Bears on the road, 49ers on the road, and then the Vikings at home. You think they're going to go 4-0?
Who, the Lions?
Yeah.
Let me see. My Bills, Bears, Niners, Vikings. I mean, it's going to come down to this Bills-Lions game, and then I think they're going to win the last. I mean, and then the Vikings-Lions game too. I mean, there's a chance they go 2-2. I think they're going to beat the Bears. I think they'll beat the Niners. But it's the Bills-Lions game and the Vikings-Lions game is going to be up for grabs.
Interesting.
Why?
No, I'm just trying to figure out how this is all going to shake out.
Yeah, it's sad that we can't talk about like the AFC and like the Dolphins playoff race or the Jets, right? It sucks.
I mean, we can. I mean, we're right there in it.
What do you mean you're right there in it?
I'm saying the Dolphins are still in it.
13%.
Yeah, but that's higher than last week.
The Jets are officially in the eliminated tab.
Do you have the ones if we win, what it goes to?
No, not yet. It didn't add it yet.
Oh, watch when it does, Richie. Watch when it does.
Who are the Broncos playing this week? Oh, they're on a bye. Oh, wait, no, they're coming off a bye. Sorry. That's not updated. Who are the Broncos?
Broncos are playing. They have.
That's what you got to look at.
They got the Colts.
Oh, yeah, that's that week. I mean, that's a lose-lose for you.
It's a win-win.
No, it's not.
That's a win-win, Richie.
It's a lose-lose.
Well, I want the Colts to. Well, hold on. I want the Colts to win.
Okay, watch this. Colts win. Look at the Colts' last 3 games. Titans, Giants, Jaguars. They went out, and they make it. That's the only reason why. The Colts are beating the Titans. The Colts are beating the Giants. The Colts are beating the Jags.
No, I think you're wrong, Richie.
I ain't wrong. And they got the tiebreaker over you.
No. See, here's the deal. No, if the Colts beat Denver, right? We already beat Houston, no, we're gonna beat them, though, right? Okay. What reason why? Hold on.
Yeah, I told you it's a lose-lose. Colts win against the Broncos. You best believe they've beaten the Titans, Giants, and Jags, and the Colts steal the job from the Broncos, if anything. Dolphins
so you think that? Hold on. Let's get this straight. First of all, you think the Colts are about to go 4-0 to end the season?
No, I'm saying if the Colts beat the Broncos, which I'm sure Dolphins fans will be rooting for, look at their final 3 weeks.
Okay, I see. This is why I think I want Denver to beat the Colts. I had that backwards because Denver is not going to win their last 3 games.
Yeah, that's the difference. Broncos got Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs.
But I actually did a simulator that says if Indy beats Denver, right? No. That's the problem. That's what I was saying, Richie. And Glenn helped explain this to me earlier. I actually want the Colts to win because the Colts can still win their division.
They ain't win no division.
They could. They could catch up to Houston.
No way.
Why no way?
They are how many games back? They don't verse each other. The Texans, I believe, did they sweep them?
No, the Colts beat the
Texans beat the Colts once.
No, they beat them twice.
Yeah, they swept them. So no, that's not happening.
Yeah, but look at what's the Texans' remaining schedule. The Texans may not. They might
have a
only
W
win
this week. W this week.
No, they don't.
Lost Chiefs, lost Ravens, win against the Titans.
See, if we beat them, they only get one more win, though. That puts them at 9, Richie.
Yeah,
we just got to beat Houston. See, we got multiple paths, actually. And I'm showing you that now. We got the Denver path because they only win in one more game. We got the whole Houston path with the Colts.
You just have to accept the reality to lose.
And go to Baltimore's schedule. Go to Baltimore's schedule. Don't. Let's not jump ahead of the gun. Baltimore could lose out too. No, never mind. They got the Giants. Yeah, but Baltimore might only win one more game.
Nah, bro. They beat
that
the
Giants game.
They beaten the Browns. They're not letting the Browns sweep them. They're back at home in Baltimore.
Pittsburgh. I'm just saying we got options, Richie. All I'm saying is we will not be eliminated this weekend as long as we win.
I mean, all I'm saying is that Colts Broncos game is a lose-lose.
It's not.
There's no winning here.
It's not a lose
because the Colts win. They're winning out. They're if they could beat the Broncos on the road somehow, they could beat the Titans, they could beat the Giants, they could beat the Jags, okay? And if the Broncos win, they get to 9-5.
And that's it. They done.
And all they need to do, I think they could beat the Bengals. Why you make it seem like they're going to lose to the Bengals? The Bengals suck.
You saw Joey B last night.
Yeah, I mean, I did. But they're going to beat the Bengals. And you never know. This is a Thursday night game, Broncos-Chargers. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be interesting, man. I'm excited to see how the AFC. I think the Broncos are going to make the playoffs. Sean Payton is the better coach than McDaniel anyway.
Richie,
LA with the super chat.
Wins, bro.
Just want to shout out the event. It was a great time. Also, Juan Soto to the Mets is heartbreaking. LA, appreciate that, man. What are you, a Dodgers fan? And we appreciate the super chat, man. $10.
Salute to you, brother.
Appreciate you, man. It was awesome to meet all you guys at the event over the weekend. It was a really, really humbling experience to be in the heart of Miami and being in the heart of Miami Dolphins fans that support the AFC's Roundtable. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. So, LA, thank you for the super chat, my man. Much love to you. Absolutely awesome stuff, okay? Next game, we have Cincinnati versus Dallas. Monday Night Football last night. Block punt. Still not a good play. What was your thoughts of last night's game between the Bengals and the Cowboys?
Jamar Chase just going off, doing what he does best. This is how it works. Here's the crazy part. Bengals technically aren't out of it either yet, but beyond long shot at the end of the day. It would have to be like a 4-way tie with 9 wins at the end of the season, which they could get there. But good win over the Cowboys, 27-20. Micah Parsons was hurt in that game, man. He was just like, he was acting. Did you see him on the sideline, Richie? He was going off like he was real upset. I think the Cowboys really wanted to go on a run. They found a bright spot in the run game with Dowdle, who had 131 yards. I just think they put a great game together. Now, Joe Burrow, 33 of 44, 75% completion, 369 yards, 3 touchdowns, that 1 interception almost hurt him. But Jamar Chase did what Jamar Chase does, man. 177 yards on 14 receptions and 2 touchdowns was absolutely just miraculous. And that's what ended up winning the Bengals the game. Jamar Chase is just so valuable, man. He's just a valuable guy at the end of the day, man. And I think, when you look at his numbers this year, very impressive. He's about to get paid 1,300 yards. I think with 4 games left, he'll end the season around 1,750. Unless he goes bananas. If he goes bananas, it could be even more, but I think he gets over 1,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, and Jamar Chase is about to set the wide receiver market this offseason. So,
do you think he's going to surpass Jefferson?
He's going to set the market. No question about it.
Bengals going to do it?
Yeah, they have to. And if they don't, somebody about to trade for a weapon. I mean,
where do you think T. Higgins is going?
Anywhere but Cincinnati, because they're not going to be able to.
That's why I said that. Where do you think he's going? New England? There's another team I saw that's interested.
They could spend some money on him. They could. They got the money. The New England got the cash next year. That's why the AFC East, we got to look out. They're going to load up next year. They got nothing but cash. Like, I think they might be top 3 in the NFL in available cash next year. They're going to get some big-time weapons, and it could easily be T. Higgins with Drake May. But, yeah, Jamar Chase setting the market. See, I don't think the Bengals are going to do what the Dolphins doing because they're not crazy. They're not going to pay $60-something million at one position group, at the wide receiver position group. And this is why I keep telling Dolphin fans, stop complaining about the defense and the O-line. Where you going to get the money? You're number 1 in the league in weapons just for your quarterback. We have to and people don't see that as an overcompensation. Everybody has weapons. Yeah, but everybody ain't paying that kind of money for it. It's overcompensation. It's overcompensating for limitations of your quarterback. So
now I didn't see this, but Habitual Line Stepper is claiming that Burrow said he's moving money around to bring back Higgins last night at the post-game press conference. Do you think there's a world where Burrow restructures his deal to fit T. Higgins in?
I didn't see that, but no. No, okay. At the end of the day, you can restructure and move money around all you want. You're still going to get your money unless they're going to go into cap purgatory. The offense isn't the issue, and I believe they could lose T. Higgins and the offense would still be fine. If you want to move some money around, you need to put it on the defensive side of the ball. So, no, this ain't that case for T. Higgins. They'll be wise to go in the draft and get a receiver to replace T. Higgins to pair up with Chase. And that's the wise thing to do. Go in the draft you a first-round receiver at around 12 or 13 or 14. That's probably where you're going to end up in the draft order. And that's what you do. And now you get that big contract off the books and you put some more of that money in the defense.
Chargers Chiefs. This game was wild. Flick Short says all it takes is cut or trade one guy and put another. Thank you for the super chat, Flex. It's true. It is true. Chargers Chiefs. You know, I was told that the Chargers would win.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. And listen, they had a chance. They could have, but that's the story all season. Coulda, woulda, shoulda against the Chiefs. Chiefs always find a way. But how about Mahomes in the clutch, man? That last drive to get them in field goal range, special stuff. That's why I don't really care about no box score. I don't care about no stats about Mahomes. He's a winner. I mean, if he goes out there and throws 19 touchdowns and 17 picks this season, but he goes out there in the playoffs, has similar stats, but wins a Super Bowl, who cares? If they win these types of games, who cares? They win. So share your thoughts of this game.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what happened at the end because it was something that I was disputing in this game that was weird. But listen, it was a juggernaut game. Both teams are great. The Chiefs are just lucky. And I've heard somebody say this before. I think it was Michael Jordan. Sometimes it takes a little luck too. And the Chiefs, that doink off the goalpost, I thought they lost the game, but it went in off of hitting the goalpost. And they win the game, man. I think the Chargers came to play. They played some solid defense. This was a good shootout. They held Mahomes to 210 yards and 1 touchdown. And at the end of the day, man, I like the Chargers in this game. I thought they had the matchup, but here's one thing, Richie. I didn't know that Lad McConkey wasn't playing. I didn't know he wasn't going to play.
I need him back for fantasy playoffs, Lad. Come back next week.
I have no reservation. If Lad McConkey would have been in that game, they would have beat the Chiefs. I truly believe it. But here's what I will say. Herbert got to take some ownership. Although he was phenomenal for the most part, man, that game was in the hands of that deep ball that he threw that he overthrew. I mean, Herbert overthrew a deep ball. He had his guy going downfield, and he overthrew it by like 4 yards. And he just flicked his wrist, and it went 60 yards. Like, Herbert got a cannon, man. He didn't even heave back, and he just and it just went 60 yards, but he overthrew his guy by like 4 yards, and that would have been a touchdown. He had about 8 yards separation. That was a touchdown all the way, but he missed them. And you only get a few of those in the game, and you cannot afford to miss guys, and Herbert missed them. So he got to own that too. That's one I know he wishes he had back, and I get it. I'm very critical of a lot of quarterbacks. So I just got to call it out where it is. Herbert had an opportunity to make a huge play in that game, and he didn't. So he got to own that. But the Chargers, they're still going to be all right. They're going to make the playoffs. They're a great team. It's just a matter of how do a lot of these teams look in the postseason? That's what it's going to come down to this season. What are they going to look like in the postseason? Chiefs, at this point, I believe, they're going to go ahead and get the first seed. I'm going to concede that now. Why? Because they only got 3 games left. They're going on the road to the Browns. That could be scary. They are at home versus Houston. They got to play on the road at Pittsburgh and on the road at Denver. Those are losable games. Denver, Pittsburgh, and Houston, and the Browns, technically. Those are losable games by the Chiefs, but I can't go against them, man.
You think the Chiefs have locked in the number 1 seed with the Bills losing and then winning this game?
Richie, I'm gonna say yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs lost 2 more games in the last 4. It's not likely, but they could. And Pittsburgh could come in and sneak the number 1 seed if that happens, because I believe Pittsburgh is as good as they come. They can win all of their last. Never mind. I just saw their last 4. I got the wrong team. They got to play the Eagles on the road, the Ravens on the road, the Chiefs and the Bengals. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to the Chiefs. Even if they lose some, I'm going to give them the first seed at this point. Unless Buffalo still got a chance to get in it by going undefeated, but that's going to determine this Lions game.
What do you got coming out on top of the AFC North? You just saw the Steelers' schedule. They went out there and got revenge against Cleveland. They get the W. I mean, like you said, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. I mean, I think the division's going to come down to that Steelers-Ravens game. The Ravens, on the other hand, coming off a bye week, well-rested Giants they're facing this week. And then, of course, that Steelers-Ravens game, Texans-Browns. I think this is going to be a really fun race until the end for the AFC North.
You mean between Baltimore and Pittsburgh?
Mm-hmm.
I would have to go Richie. Oh, my gosh. Man. That's tough.
I mean, we're going to assume the Ravens are going to kill the Giants.
Right? Yeah, I know. The Ravens have 2 wins automatic.
And the Steelers 3. The Eagles this week. So, hypothetically, Eagles beat the Steelers. Ravens win. So, that brings them 1 game closer. 9-5, 10-4. And then they verse each other. And if the Ravens win that game, it's tied. And then, it's a tie battle. And the Ravens got, and then the Steelers got to go against the Chiefs and the Bengals.
They're going to lose the Chiefs.
When the Ravens got to go up against the Texans, not easy. And the Browns, man, I'm going to.
No, you know what, Richie? You know what? I'm going to go Ravens too, because Pittsburgh ain't going to beat. Pittsburgh. No. I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh's going to beat the Chiefs. Matchup wise, they're going to beat the Chiefs. I think they do. I think from a matchup standpoint, they'll beat the Chiefs.
Just like the Chargers beat the Chiefs, right?
No. Yeah, but who do you like more, Pittsburgh or the Chargers?
You never learn.
Time will tell. It always does.
Time will tell. It always proves you wrong, by the way. Every time you say time will tell, time proves you wrong.
No, it doesn't.
You realize that?
I said time will tell versus the Dolphins versus Jets.
Time will tell, and it always proves you wrong. Now, I did want to get into some BetUS lines, because BetUS is the proud sportsbook sponsor of the channel. Make sure you guys take advantage of the 150% bonus on your first deposit, $125 on your next 2, up to $2,000 by using the code YouTube150. AFC Conference winning odds. The Chiefs are the clear front runners at plus 200. The Bills plus 225. Ravens plus 425. Dolphins plus 6,000.
We still in there.
Who you got coming out of the AFC to represent in the Super Bowl as of now?
Man, oh man. I'm going to have to go with I'm still going to go
Steelers plus 900.
I'm still going to go Buffalo.
You're going Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm still going to go Buffalo. I don't like it, but I mean, they've been right now. I feel like they're the best team in the AFC, even though they ain't played too many teams. Again, the Lions game is going to determine everything for me with Buffalo, because they're blessed to get a test. You're blessed to get a test. Like,
yeah,
you're automatically in the playoffs. So right now, you should want this Lions game. Who are we? And if they win that game, they could coast through the rest of the season saying, we're ready for the playoffs. Let's go.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that I'm going with the unpopular decision, which is also the most favorited decision on the sports book, which is the Chiefs. Everyone's going to hate me and hate this, but everyone is betting against the Chiefs because they don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And I'm someone that believes, like, they just find ways to win. The only game they've lost was against the Bills. And obviously, you know, where were they when the Bills beat the Chiefs? Buffalo. And as of right now, seems like if they're going to go face off, it's going to be an Arrowhead. That's a big advantage. Big advantage. So, I don't know, man. Everyone is discounting the Chiefs, and they want nothing to do with them. They don't believe in them. I got the Chiefs representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, and everyone gets upset about it. And you know me. I'm a Tom Brady hater. Let's go Chiefs, baby. Go get that ring, Mahomes. I think I'm like the only man on the face of the planet that is a non-Chiefs fan that would like to see them do it again. I really think I'm the only one. Everyone can't stand them and hates them. And I understand they want a new team, a new quarterback to get it, and they can't stand the Taylor Swift riddled team with, you know, Mahomes is annoying, and I get it. But I think I'm literally the only fan that's not a Chiefs fan that would like to see him do it again. Would you think I'm the only one? Because I really think I am the only one.
You want to see him do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
If it's not the Jets, like, I don't want to see anybody other AFC team win that the Chiefs didn't already. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see the you know, of course, I don't want to see the Bills do it. You know, it'd be cool to see Lamar Jackson do it. I don't want to see any other team in the AFC do it. If the Chiefs already did, I'm used to it. So let them do it again.
Well, listen, it'll be a good playoffs. I'll tell you that much.
So only time will tell, right? Only time will tell. Time always tells. Time always
It
tells.
does.
So, folks, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Wake Up and Ball Show live on Roundtable Sports Network every single morning from 8:30 a.m. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning as usual. TD, anything you want to say before we wrap things up?
No, that's all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Congratulations, Met fans, with Juan Soto. Listen, man, another great week of football coming up as well. Also, NBA Cup tonight. We'll cover it tomorrow morning. Thanks for tuning in. We love y'all.
We love you guys. NBA Cup does begin tonight. We're going to recap it tomorrow. Much love to everybody. Shout out to BetUS for being the proud sponsor of Roundtable Sports. And we'll see you guys later today on The Huddle and tomorrow morning on Wake Up and Ball.
Peace.